courageous spirits. You decided to take a trip into the third dimension, into time and space. Cool. This is the time you've been waiting for. What a brave decision. Welcome on planet Earth. Go in, slow down your frequency, and check out that matrix. Your divine playground.
When we are born, we come in and incarnate onto this planet. We come into existence as perfectly realized source, God-connected beings. And then something happens.
Never question authorities. Please watch TV. Whatever you see and hear in the mainstream media is 100% true.
Miserable people shop more, so please remain as miserable as you can.
Consume until we have no planet left to consume.
We are not running our life with our conscious mind. We only run our life 5% with a conscious mind. 95% of our life comes from the subconscious habits. The subconscious programs, the basic beliefs in the subconscious are not our beliefs. They're beliefs that we got from our family, our mother, our father, our community. We bought those beliefs and they became our beliefs.
Human nature has been hijacked.
Wow, the big amnesia.
Science has already recognized that we're deep into the sixth mass extinction of life on this planet.
We have maybe 5 or 10 years to change our ways. If we don't, we will not survive.
Government, politics, economy, education, healthcare, religion are the ones that are keeping the beliefs in place that are creating the problem.
But where's the solution? How can we return to paradise? When I was a child, I was wondering, when God is love, and God is everywhere, so He must be in us also. But why are people fighting each other? Nobody would give me an answer. 30 years later, it was my little son Moritz who asked me,
Mami, warum töten die Menschen und zerstören die Natur?
I wanted to give him answers. So I grabbed a camera, gathered my friends, and started to travel around the world. To talk to some of the most brilliant and spiritual teachers, visionaries, and scientists. To set the puzzle pieces of modern science and spiritual knowledge about our human existence together. And soon I realized
consciousness is changing today. There is this new movement as people are waking up. And this consciousness that still dominates the world is on the way out.
There's absolutely no reason to think that evolution would stop here with an eternal spirit in a dying body. My own sense is that the earth is filled with people who are giving birth to that essence of their own being as universal humans, as pioneering souls.
We are in a birthing process. I think that we are about to birth a new human, a new way of being alive.
For the first time, the attention shifts. Instead of changing the dream, who is aware of this dream?
We use about 5% of our brain's capacity. We're using about 5% of our genetic capabilities, and 95% of the DNA is actually dormant. Now just imagine we started to wake up that potential inside of us.
As consciousness evolves, as the creative challenges for the brain increase, we will form new networks. And that potential is in the brain, because we're literally on top of a sleeping vastness the size of the universe in terms of possible connections. inside our heads.
The prophecies are describing now that we're literally about bringing heaven down to earth.
The Mayans are talking about a ray of synchronization, a new light that will appear on planet Earth to induce the shift of time and to calibrate people new. And really, scientists measure a galactic superwave, a gamma ray burst with a very high frequency which is emanating from the center of our galaxy and pointing like a torch lamp directly towards Earth. And it's considered as gateway to other dimensions. NASA predicted the next sun cycle to be 50% stronger than the previous one. The plasma clouds emitted by the sun have a very strong impact to the Earth's magnetic fields, and so to human consciousness.
There's a very strong likelihood that the next time this magnetic field collapse happens, we will end up losing our current sense of who we are.
When we look closely at the atom, it's made out of 99.999999% space. It's mostly space with a little oscillation that we call the material world. Nothing actually ever touches. And quantum physics says that everything is energy, even including what we see as matter is energy.
Everything is linked with all things, and all things form one enormous dynamic whole. We call it the cosmos, the universe, and that is our home.
We're part of the hologram. We're interfaced with the hologram, and so take any piece of the hologram and you have the whole picture.
The space between things that is not empty, that is full of energy, that connects all these things, not only connects all things, but produces them as well.
Consciousness is not generated by our brain.
Consciousness is not an epiphenomena from the universe, but is a fundamental mechanic that produces all of creation.
I am consciousness. It is as honest and straightforward as I can tell you. What I am, what all beings are, is consciousness.
To be enlightened is simply to be right here, right now, fully and completely, with all the wonder and joy and the glory that's available to you, given who you are, as an aspect of divinity.
But what keeps us from living and expressing our divinity?
Oh, my dear. Well, look. Human, great being, but total amnesia. Using his divine light for this pretty projections. But on its way out, his light shines through the filter of his beliefs. He projects them out and calls it reality. A mirror image of his own thinking.
And all the time we're just scratching on a movie screen out there and trying to change it.
That everything in the universe is energy, and this energy carries a frequency, and we attract into our lives that which is in harmony with our vibration.
We have the power to be the screenwriter, producer, and director of our own life by becoming aware how our inner film, our belief system looks like, and deliberately change it. And then we can choose to play in a global awakening story instead of a horror eco-disaster movie.
Human beings are living in a prison of their own creation, but most people are happy to rearrange the furniture in the prison cell and to call it freedom. Instead of experiencing reality as it is, mysterious, alive, shimmering, unpredictable, most of us, we have settled for beliefs. We prefer to live in our belief about reality instead of reality itself.
How are beliefs creating our reality? Look at this apple for a moment. Now you place a judgment on it. Think, this is the ugliest apple I've ever seen. And now feel how you feel when you look at it. Now shift and think, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen. And look again on the apple. Watch the beauty of colors on the peel. How do you feel now?
An awakening life begins when we can question these beliefs.
So experiment with it. Make a change inside yourself and create a new world.
You know, you don't have to believe any thought. They're just thoughts. Don't believe any of them. Let them come through. They are just tools. Use them for planning, for engaging with people. Just use them. They're tools. But to believe in them and invest in them is exhausting. It's like a part of your essence goes out into something, to somewhere where it doesn't belong. You know, it gets exhausting to believe your thoughts.
The process of awakening and the process of transformation is to come to that space to realize, okay, I have had these programs and this isn't me. So it's like an awakening. And then the first step is taking that ownership, which is saying, okay, I'm creating my experience of reality, which means I have the power to shift it.
We can reprogram anything in the subconscious. And there are very new technologies and very rapid ways of making change, which are much more effective than the old-fashioned psychology.
Quantum physics illuminates this, is that you can literally sidestep into a whole other dimension of possibility and existence.
And I'm voting for a new, upgraded software program. What would your life be like? What would it look like if your ego was in love all the time?
So, every decision I take in my life is an act of my divine co-creative power and responsibility.
Die größte Macht, die es überhaupt auf der Welt gibt, haben wir Konsumenten. Weil wir entscheiden frei, was wir kaufen, ob wir es kaufen, ob wir es nicht kaufen. Und mit unserer Kaufentscheidung können wir jede Firma extrem beeinflussen. Wir können den Firmen Lektionen erteilen. Das ist die große Angst, die diese großen, mächtigen Konglomerate haben, der Boykott des Consumers.
When you go shopping, every product you buy has an impact on prolonging pollution and the destruction of our planet, or co-creating a new Earth.
Take that power back to know that you are an aspect of the creative energy that helps to create this movie called your life. And collectively, we create the story, the movie of the experiences on Earth itself.
And it's just pure magic to be awake in the dream.
Thank you so much.
Okay, good.
Thank you. My advice to all visionaries is don't die. Stay alive. Find out your deepest passion to create. Say yes and find out who needs you as much as you need them to fulfill that passion. And then you'll tap into supra-sexual energy.
One way to happiness within you.